championship in 1990. Now the Sharks swims at Fresno State. And tonight coaches his first game against a team he built into a national power. Arena in Fresno, California. Big Monday presented by Bud Light rolls on, and tonight at Dandy in the Wax. UNLV 11-4 taking on Fresno State at 11-6. And hi everybody, I'm Craig Bullerjack along with Derek Dickey. This arena alive, and Jerry Tartini tonight will put a great backcourt on the floor against his old team.
Absolutely. How about Chris Herron? Chris Herron's a terrific outside player. He has the ability to score outside, can also put it on the floor. Leading scorer, also 4.5 assists a game. Dominic Young is an explosive outside scorer. He led the conference in three-point shooting last year. He also averages 6 assists a game.
Derek, for UNLV tonight, Billy Bano will put together a pretty good inside-outside combination on the floor to take on Tartanian.
Well, if you like dunking and block shots, watch Keon Clark. Terrific, explosive, quick leaper. If you like a guy who can put it on the floor, Tyrone Nesby is your man. Excellent outside shooter who will get to the basket.
Oh, you can feel the excitement. It's UNLV taking on Fresno State. We'll come back with the tip after this.
ESPN presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Bud Light, who reminds you that fresh beer tastes better.
And welcome back to Selland Arena, Fresno, California. Tonight's lineup brought to you by McDonald's and First. The UNLV, Jimmy Bano will go with a 3-guard, 2-forward lineup, and the most athletic of the group is the 6'5" senior Warren Rosegreen. And for Tarkanian and his Fresno State Bulldogs, Clark has made a lineup change. Chris Herron will start in the backcourt with Young replacing Kendrick Brooks, who's been in a bit of a shooting slump. And we're underway. UNLV controls the tip.
They want to get it up as quickly as possible and try to score before the defense gets back.
Jermaine Smith, would you say maybe a little excited on that shot?
Well, I think we're going to see both teams come out a little high and probably overshoot the basket a little bit.
The great drive. Oh, he was so excited before the start of this game. He's the man off the bench, but Tarkanian said tonight the shooter gets the strike.
Well, Chris Herron exploded against his hometown UMass. 25 points in that ball game.
A transfer out of Boston College's Chris Herron, who set out last year. Tenacious defense by the Bulldogs. Lane in the lane, missed a couple of shots, and the rebound goes to Herron. Last touch by Fresno State, Rashawn Smith.
Well, we talked a moment ago about the explosive play of Chris Herron. He has the ability to get inside and create a shot on his own. He can also shoot the NBA 3, but he does average 4.5 assists, so he's a triple threat whenever he touches the ball.
Coming off a 19-point game Saturday against Air Force. Dominic Young playing tough D against Dickel. Hangs on that pivot foot. Tries to break the double team, and now
5-second jump ball. Tough defense.
There's Tarkanian in his second year at Fresno State. And Derek, that is a tough backcourt with Dominic Young and Chris Herron.
Well, one, because of their offensive ability. Together, they put up over 30 points a game, but defensively, they play the perimeter better than anyone else in the Western Athletic Conference.
We talked about the throws, in and out, and a whistle on Roberson over the back. Second year for Billy Bano, 34 years of age, and of course, a lot of expectations for that young coach. He spent 7 years as an assistant under John Calipari at UMass.
Also a graduate assistant at Kansas and at Seton Hall.
And the breakaway, Herron takes it up and in.
Excellent outlet pass, but it was created once again by great defense.
Fresno State with the early 4-0 lead and a couple of quick buckets by Herron. Only a sophomore, 6'3" guard out of Fall River, Massachusetts. Another turnover. Dominic Young skip past.
Beno wants to talk it over.
And a timeout.
20 seconds.
Derek Beno told us at practice this morning, if we can survive the first 5 minutes of this excitement, of this showcase of Tarkanian, we'll be okay. Here we go. They're down 6, and they played less than 3.
Well, you got pressure defense coming from everywhere. Derek Tarkanian calls this amoeba. It creates this, sets up a turnover, and they know what to do when they get the ball in their hands. Dominic Young, as well as Chris Herron, together they average over 10 assists a game. Excellent passing.
We'll look at Dominic Young, 5'10", 170-pound senior out of Chicago, Illinois.
Look at Dominic's shorts. He's got on some of the old-fashioned shorts. I love that. I told him I couldn't wait to see him. He had to special order those.
Yeah, forget the baggies.
He can't wear them. He was tripping over them all the time.
Kind of taking us back your day, big guy.
Well, ours was still shorter than those, but he said he had to keep pulling them up every time he'd get down in the defensive stance, and they got in the way, so he reordered them. They just came in yesterday. He's ready to play.
6-0 Fresno State. Dickel controls, trying to look inside. The shot is away and down. A three-point bucket by Jermaine Smith.
Well, UNLV's been struggling from the perimeter. They only shoot 28% behind the arc, which is next to last in the league.
He's in a bit of a slump, Derek, but I heard him tell you tonight, I'm going to shoot myself out of it.
Well, he was practicing a lot. He was really concentrating this afternoon as well as before the game. He came out and got a little bit of extra shooting. But Dominic has been in a horrendous slump from the perimeter. He needs this shot to get his confidence. Look at where he is. He's 3 steps behind the three-point arc. It's nothing but the bottom.
Shooting 31% on the season from behind the three-point line. We talked about the last 8 games. Only 25% from the floor, 22% from the three-point line.
But he's such a streaky shooter that if he makes his first shot, that's going to open up the avenue for him to really go out. He may even step out further than that. He and Herron have exceptional range.
Smith picked up his first foul, and Rosegreen throws down both free throws, and it's 9-5 Fresno State.
Fresno State is not as good in the half court as they are full court and in transition. So it'll be a good idea for Vegas to stay on and not let their outside shooters get their feet set.
Rosegreen rebounds a miss from Young. Deion Clark in the game. Off his fingertips, and it's going to be Bulldog basketball.
I don't think Clark was quite ready for that pass. There was an excellent pass up the court by Kevin Jones. Clark has to catch that ball. Even if he can't get it, he went after it with one hand. Attack the ball with 2 hands.
Fresno State breaks the press. Herron, blocked by Deion Clark.
Oh, man. He's averaging over 4 blocks a game.
Alley-oop. Smith stole it in the lane. Here comes Dominic Young. Across midcourt. Kicks it. 40.
Damon Forney, he's another player who sat out last year, came from Okaloosa Walton Community College. He is a terrific all-around athlete. At 6'8", about 220 pounds. He runs the break, but another guy who likes it in transition, and he is a finisher. Think he's a little excited?
Oh, yeah. Deion Clark picks up his first foul and a three-point play for Forney. How about 5 points to start this game? The junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. James trying to feed it inside. Loose ball picked up by Young. Herron for 3. Herron got the start in front of Kendrick Brooks and has responded with 7 points here in the first 4 minutes.
I watched him practice last year with these Bulldogs. What an explosive player he is on both ends of the floor. He'll dive, he'll hustle.
15-5, Fresno State.
Clark was telling us this morning that He wants his guys to play hard. He's not sure they really know how to win yet, even though they played well, got off to a good start.
Nesby, first time he's had his hands on the ball, overshot it in the lane and a whistle.
Went down hard.
That's Rose Green, number 42. And he is up in a hurry.
He's tough. Look the way his body's put together.
Oh,
he is tough. 6'5", 225. I'll bet he doesn't have 5% body fat.
Well, he was a highly recruited wide receiver out of high school. Clemson wanted him, Florida, Miami. You can see why.
You think he's a good all-around athlete?
Oh, yeah.
He's tough.
Good numbers on his season.
I like his rebounding numbers at 6'5". He's not afraid to get inside, and Vegas is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the WAC.
Rose Green makes the first. 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And the left-hander now 4 for 4. 15:30 to go in the first half. And the three by Heron, and oh, he likes it. The Bulldogs on top 15-7.
Gary Miller and Clark Kellogg with you in the studio. We'll be with you at halftime as we get to our WAC game between Fresno and UNLV. And Clark, Wyoming is not a factor in this conference. Fresno is leading their division, but they have to, Fresno has got to be pleased. They're not going to have to contend with Ladrell Whitehead anymore this year.
Exactly. He's the leading scorer. He's out with a dislocated elbow for the season, 25 points a game. What does that do to Wyoming? I think it obviously hurts him because he runs their show. He's their catalyst, but it also gives some other guys an opportunity to step up.
Yes, he's 25 a game. He's fourth in the nation in scoring. We got more at halftime. Let's get back to Craig and Derek out at Selland Arena. Craig?
Thank you, Gary. Tough news for Wyoming.
Very tough news. Joby Wright has been struggling out there this year. The team's only 5-10 overall and 1-3 in the Western Athletic Conference, so that's going to hurt them a lot.
Forney with his second personal. Had the quick start with 5 points. Averages nearly 14 a game.
Well, Vegas needs a basket. They need a good look right here.
Smith, he heard you. Damian Smith knocks down to 3.
That's his first basket tonight, and he did not score the other night against Oklahoma State. 0 for 2 from the floor. 0 points.
5-point lead. Smith from Heron.
Great block.
Keon Clark with the swat. Rosegreen spots up, drives, and the reach in on Young. 2 on Dominic Young.
Well, there's one reason why Keon Clark is averaging over 4 blocks a game, because he's a quick leaper. He's got great timing. And you see, he didn't get any body contact in there, just kept the shot from going in the basket. So defends the basket very well. 13.5 points, over 9 rebounds, but leads the WAC with over 4 block shots a game, and he probably turns away another 6 or 7.
That's 52 blocks before the start of this one. Goaltending counted.
That's where the running Rebels are tough. Offensive rebounds. They get after it.
Tyrone Nesby gets credit for the bucket there, and able to inbound that pass. Wants to drive, contact, and a whistle.
The running Rebels lead the Western Athletic Conference with a margin of plus 11 rebounds over their opponents. Alfred James, 46-35.
On the inbound, Heron. Too strong, dribble, controlled. Inside Brooks, now Rashawn Smith. The soft pass interference. Looked like interference, but no call.
They gave it to him. Forney again.
Rashawn Smith, 6'10", he's on the... Left-hander.
Look out!
Pop the rim.
Keon Clark. If you like excitement, if you like explosive dunks, block shots, watch Keon Clark. He is a highlight reel in himself.
We watched him at warm-ups tonight, and he had a great comment. So quick, leaping ability, he gets up in a hurry.
He does. He gets up off of his feet very quickly. You see, he's not very big in terms of body weight, but he jumps quick. He jumps second and third time very quickly. Exactly.
Down scores the other way. The play on the defensive end. That's 3 blocks tonight. My goodness.
And the ball went over his shoulder. He didn't even see the ball.
17-14, Fresno State. Under 14 minutes to go and a half. That's it. Head takes the 3.
He's still comfortable with it. Nothing but
Three-pointer. And Damian Smith coming off the bench with a couple of quick threes. And this game is tied up at 17. Turnaround jumper. Down the net. 40 with 7. He shoots 50% from the floor, and quickly the other way is Rose Green.
Rose Green was about 2 feet over the top of that rim.
Kendrick Brooks bounce pass. 40 off balance jumper no.
Forced it, not a good decision.
Zipper runs the court. Leaves it Clark wide open. Oh, the C-point.
But I like what Kevin James is doing. He reads the floor. He's looking for his teammates, getting the ball into the hands of the guys that can score.
Let's go back and talk about Bano, because he said, you survived the first 5 minutes. You get the excitement out of this crowd, and we can play with Fresno State.
He also said that Tyrone Nesby is the guy who has to play well for his team to compete.
Heron, nice bucket, cutting down the lane is 9 points.
Nesby and Clark come out of the game. How about Keon Clark? Here he goes. The big fella's running the floor. You give him a reward. He'll reward you back and put some money on the board.
Shoots 60% from the floor. You can shot like that.
With that kind of range, yeah, I'd shoot 60 or 70%.
I like that 3 and 4 foot range. Distance inside.
Warren Rose Green, that's a strong move down on the block once again.
Earlier tonight, Syracuse with a win, and how about Texas Tech in overtime?
Got a no game Terrence Robertson. He pumped a blister on the palm of his left hand. That shouldn't affect him. I think we'll see him back here in a couple of minutes.
This is the front end. Heron will take a seat. In comes Dominic Young, and team fouls a problem already. Fresno State forced with 8 already here early.
It is going to be a problem because both teams only dress 10 players. Fresno State will play probably 8 or 9. The Running Rebels only play about 7. So foul problem is definitely going to be a factor in this game. Here's another.
And Smith fouls McCullough. Darnell McCullough.
UNLV foul on number 25, Jermaine Smith, his first.
First on Jermaine Smith. There's a familiar pose.
Oh, we got to wait to see him with the towel.
Yeah.
That's the most familiar that we've seen.
Fresno State by 1. Under 12.5 minutes to go in the half.
UNLV needs to stop here. They need to get this crowd silent so they can get some momentum back in this game.
From the corner, down goes Brooks and a whistle.
He's shooting 3 out there.
And the foul will be on Damian Smith.
UNLV foul on number 22, Damian Smith, his first.
The first on Smith.
Kendrick Brooks to the line.
Well, just try to get a good look at the basket. Kendrick Brooks, you mentioned earlier, Craig, that he's been struggling from the field, but the reason he missed that shot, Damian Smith fouled him, and Bill Bano is saying, why? Where's the foul?
Keon Clark in for UNLV. Wasting 1, Rose Green.
Kendrick Brooks, first team All-WAC last year, also the WAC newcomer of the year last year.
68%. Made the first. And the second, he'll get another. Keon Clark back in for UNLV.
Brooks is the hardest worker every day on his team.
Oh, nice stroke. 3 for 3. He is a straight shooter, and he's streaking right now from the free throw line. 24-20, Fresno State. James Delane.
It's a good basket. Count the goal.
24 Lane goes to the free throw line for a three-point opportunity.
We'll get another chance to look at that. This is a great catch inside by Lane, who goes up, and he gets hit on the side of the head. But take a look as the ball is being blocked by McCullough, and it is on its downward flight.
Lane short, Clark the rebound, feeds it back to Damian Smith. Kevin James, number 12, in there for UNLV. 23 on the shot clock. Lane takes the jumper, takes it. Here comes Fresno State, bounce pass, all the way, strip. McCullough lost it on the mound, and a timeout. 11:35 to go in the half. Fresno State by 2. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Summit Arena in Fresno, California, where the UNLV Running Rebels are behind 24-22. The Fresno State Bulldogs. There's a couple of scouts in the audience, Greg. On the left right there, that's Chris Wallace. He's the creator of the Blue Ribbon College Yearbook that so many of us use. And Gene Shue sitting next to him. Gene Shue, a former NBA coach.
And, of course, those two men will be interested in basketball tomorrow on ESPN. Super Tuesday begins at 7:30 Eastern. 13th ranked Michigan takes on Bobby Knight and his Indiana Hoosiers, ranked number 21 in the country. And then followed at 9:30 Eastern, Mississippi State taking on Arkansas. The Razorbacks back home after playing 4 of their last 5 on the road. Welcome home.
And they took a pretty bad loss to Cincinnati.
Maurice Stanley to McCullough with the left hand.
By Darnell McCullough to get that ball up before it could be changed by Keon Clark.
His first bucket of this game, 26-22, Fresno State. James, too strong. Oh, look at Clark.
He didn't even jump, did he?
Clark with a rebound. Clark at 6'11". Damian Smith wants the 3. Finds it.
You can't just get an offensive rebound. You got to make something happen. You don't get an open shot. Try to drive to the basket and get to the free throw line.
Damian Smith, 9 points, 3 3-pointers. Dominic Jones pulls up quickly and hits for a 2.
I like the basket, but I don't like the fact that Dominic's out there trying to create on his own. He needs a screen. Was that pass meant for you, Tiger?
I'm still wondering. And Clark, no. What happened was Smith tried to break it inside, and he thought he was going to stand out and try to shoot a perimeter shot.
Well, yeah, exactly. And trying to get back to the offensive glass, you got to be on the same page. Make eye contact before you make that pass.
7 turnovers now for UNLV, only 2 for Fresno State. A sharpshooter off the leg of Keon Clark.
He went after that ball with one hand. It was long over the basket, and he saw it all the way.
First miss from the three-point line for Damian Smith. He got 3 of 4.
Well, they take a lot of three-point shots. However, on the season, we mentioned they're only shooting 28% of the team behind the arc.
Roberson, long-range shot. McCullough trying to follow up. Rebound to Stanley. A fresh 35 on the shot clock, and Dominic smartly. Well, now he's going to take it from way out. Rebound goes. Tony Lane. James loops it down to Clark. And a nice save by Roberson.
That was a nice save. Roberson got underneath, and the fans don't like this call, but it was a good call and a nice play by Roberson to be able to save Clark from hurting himself. Take a look at this pass coming over the top from Kevin James, and Clark could have gone down and hurt himself pretty bad, but that's a very, very good play, a safe and smart play by Roberson to be able to save him from injury.
Roberson, 6'7", his second foul.
Watch the save. Look at that right hand. I like that. That's respecting the game and respecting your competition. You never want to hurt anybody intentionally in this game. Terrence Roberson, the most highly recruit signed here at Fresno State, and Jerry Tarkanian was responsible for bringing him here.
Clark, the left-hander. Maybe Keon ought to take somebody out to dinner tonight. It was a nice save.
Yes, it was. He could have been hurt very badly.
Second shot, a line drive through the hoop. 6 points for Keon Clark out of Danville, Illinois. Loose ball out of bounds. And it's going to be UNLV basketball.
I think the Bulldogs look to me like they've gotten a little sloppy with the ball. They're trying to make some things happen that aren't there. Early in the game, they were playing with a lot of emotion, playing so pumped up they could get those things going. And now it seems like the running Rebels have settled into a comfort zone past that 5-minute mark.
Damian Smith back to Dickel. On the wing is Nesby. Far side, Smith in and out. And a rebound to Fresno State. Oh, inside. Courtney got away with a walk. Got away with the walk, and then the rebound, but he got fouled by Clark.
Well, Courtney wanted to try to get the ball inside, and I really think he got away with a walk on that play, but he was able to get inside and draw the foul. How about the rebounding numbers for you? UNLV is leading in this game 12-9 against the Bulldogs, but Fresno State is not a great rebounding team. They've only out-rebounded 5 of their opponents in the 17 games they played coming into this game.
And Jerry, you've got to surprise you because you've got some athletes, obviously, but you've got a 6'10 Rashawn Smith. You've got a 6'10 Paris Stanley. There's some guys out there that can hit the board.
Yes, sir. They have some guys who can hit the boards and who are very talented. But Jerry Tarkanian told me he doesn't know how tough his guys are. He wants them to get in there and bump guys around and knock people down, but come up with those loose balls.
Morning missed and goal. Smith the rebound for UNLV. Here comes Dickel. Fires in the corner. Nesby on the dribble drive. He's caught in traffic. Smith will watch it up and in. Damian Smith, 11 points.
Well, you got to give Tyrone Nesby credit for creating that off the dribble drive. The defense came to him.
Heron missed the floater. The rebound and then knocked it off of Warren Rosegreen. Smart heads-up play by Roberson.
Well, Damian Smith struggled the last game Saturday against Oklahoma State, but look what he does. Once he gets inside, 2 defenders come at him. He's able to dish the ball off. He is an exciting player, but he needs to make his teammates pick their level of intensity up.
Now the officials say last touch by Fresno State. 29-28 UNLV.
Become a perimeter game for both teams.
Nesby treats it. Nesby. 5 points, his first 3. He averages nearly 32 minutes a night for Billy Dano.
6 points and over 7 rebounds to go along with that.
Brooks fouled on his way to the basket by Nesby.
UNLV now on number 33, Tyrone Nesby, his first 6.
Take a look at that.
Amazing. Since the 86-87 season, 340 consecutive games now with at least 1 3 made. And that was the year
Since
when
the inception of the rule.
Yeah.
That is an amazing stat.
Roberson with his first point of the night, averages 15 and a half, a sophomore. Fall River, Massachusetts.
He was a 3-time Parade All-American, one of 4 players to do that in the history of Parade All-Americans. Patrick Ewing, Kenny Anderson, and Alonzo Mourning were the other 3. That's some pretty good company.
That's some great company.
Some pretty good company.
UNLV by 2, 32-30. Leslie's been hanging around that 3-point line all night. Missed it badly. Loose ball. Dickel has it at midcourt.
Went over and back.
It was. Dickel floats it in.
Referees didn't call it, but that was a nice aggressive play by Dickel to take the ball right to the basket.
First bucket for Dickel, a freshman from New Zealand. UNLV by 4 and a whistle.
Watch this loose ball play. Watch Mark Dickel. We're looking at his left foot. It goes in the backcourt. Once he's got possession in the front court, you got to go back there. You got to take the ball with you or already be set up back there. That was an over and back violation. Not called.
Damian Smith picks up his second foul, and to the free throw line goes Chris Herron. Double digits for Herron.
Herron is capable of playing either guard position. Another McDonald's All-American in high school. 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists a game.
Made them both in a timeout. 7:39 to go first half. UNLV leading Fresno State by 2. We'll be back. UNLV 34, Fresno State 32, and yes, up in the high rafters are running Rebel fans. Those are the only tickets. You know what? Selling Arena, they're sold out the remainder of the season. And Bulldog basketball, there is a frenzy here in Fresno.
Well, because of Jerry Tarkanian and the season ticket sales, the donations to the university, everything is up since he's been here.
I think Bill Vano has to be pleased with the way his team has survived the early part of this game. They've gone on a big run to lead now by 2.
They have 5 seniors and 3 juniors on this squad, and because of that leadership from the upperclassmen, that has settled this team down. They knew what was coming to start the game, but they've responded very well.
Nesby. Loose ball picked up by Dickel. 19 on the shot clock. And a missed jumper by Jermaine Smith.
Tony Lane mistimed his jump. Otherwise, he could have had an easy lay-in.
Aaron working against pressure. Turn around. Corny missed it. Had a good look. Loose ball. Look at the hustle.
Jump ball. Possession arrow. Stay at that end.
Take a look at other scores around the country. Here at the two-point game, 34-32 UNLV. First time Jerry Tarkanian has coached against the team that he built to a national power. Won, of course, the 1990 NCAA championship. Roberson a drive with the left hand. Shot it up and over.
Not a good shot attempt there. He wanted to try to get something inside pretty bad. He's just a sophomore. Not a good decision.
Nesby. He ought to just put a mark out there. He has shot at least a half a dozen shots.
He may need to put his mark about 2 steps behind that because they've both been 2 feet long.
Aaron holds it to Forney from the free throw line. In and out. Roberson tried to put it back in. No whistle.
Fans thought this should have been a call.
Boy, patience by UNLV. Smith hit the side of the backcourt. Picked up. Here comes Herron across midcourt. Oh, drives it and the reach in on Dickel. Boy, he tried to make something happen. He drove. And he forced Dickel into a foul.
And he also had Dominic Young on his right side. But Chris Herron, I think, made up his mind right about there at the top of the key that he was going to try to split the defense and get inside.
In the ball game is Kendrick Brooks. Out comes Dominic Young.
That's where the versatility comes in with this team. You know, Brooks comes in. Now Chris Herron moves over to the playmaking position. And if Herron comes out of the game, you can put Dominic Young back in that playmaking position.
Also, Darnell McCullough checks in, and Keon Clark is back in for UNLV.
17.
That's why he's their leading scorer on the season, 15.4 points a game already with 12.
Got the bounce. Lee a dozen now. He's been in double figures now 6 straight games.
He gets so pumped up against St. Mary's, 28.5 rebounds. LSU, 27.6 rebounds.
Well, 13 so far in this half, and we still have 6:10 to go. We're tied at 34.
Herron is a money player. He likes the spotlight.
As he drives around the Until an line, takes it down.
Bring it down, big fella.
Oh, Tyrone Nesby, 7 points. Out of Illinois. He comes from a big family there. It's 8 brothers, 5 sisters. Dinner time must have been something of that house.
I'll bet it was. You didn't want to leave anything on your plate. Also came from Vincennes Junior College. They put out a lot of wonderful products.
Brooks fouled as he took the 3. If he was on the line, a two-point basket.
Well, no, he's holding up 3 fingers, but I think he acted a little bit on that. As he released the ball, he fell down. Did not look like a lot of contact on that play. Look at Brooks. Yeah, he's clearly behind the line, but watch on the release. As he's coming down, he gets bumped just a little bit. We can't see it at that angle, but I think he needs an Academy Award to go along with that.
Brooks at the free throw line. 3 for 3. Missed the first.
Do whatever it takes to give your team an advantage. And if the officials go with yours, your choice, you won that particular battle.
Oh, the second foul on Jermaine Smith. Brooks makes the second. He'll get another.
He had a couple of pretty decent games this year. Against Western, he had 24 points. Mississippi State, he had 15 points. So he can put up numbers. Very streaky.
5 or 6. From the free throw line was tied at 36. Under 5.5 minutes to play here in Fresno, California. UNLV and Fresno State.
Fresno State going with a little more pressure, trapping pressure.
McKella lost it, pulls it down. He can take it up.
Bulldogs are doing a better job of rebounding defensively.
Lane to rebound off the miss from 40. Good transition by the running Rebels. Deion Clark and Nesby. Clark on the low, blocks the handle. Here comes Aaron.
He's going to score.
Aaron drives, and he initiates the contact and a foul. And that will be whistled against Kevin James.
You can tell, Chris, I've watched him play enough to know that when he's got a guy on his heels, especially another guard, his eyes are lining up. He realized Kevin James is backing up. He's going to try to take it all the way to the basket and get that shot up.
Aaron already with 13. Now 14.
I'm sure we mentioned this, but he enrolled at Boston College. Fresno State's going to take a 20-second timeout, but enrolling at Boston College, he hurt his wrist, and he missed the rest of that game, and he realized after being there he wasn't comfortable with being at BC. Sat out last year and transferred to Fresno State.
Well, more college basketball Wednesday, a doubleheader on ESPN. We start John 7 Eastern with Seton Hall taking on Notre Dame. And then at 9 o'clock, it's number 19 North Carolina. Dean Smith taking on Florida State from Tallahassee. Wednesday, a doubleheader on ESPN.
Well, there's one guy who stood head and shoulders above everybody else out here on the defensive end. Keon Clark, 6'11". They list him at 220 pounds, but he is a defensive machine. The ability to change shots, the ability to block shots. He also runs the floor. He can do a lot of things, but the man has great timing and great leaping ability. I like the fact that he blocks the shots and keeps the ball in play, not necessarily swatting it up in the third or second row.
And Derek, he injured a knee just before Christmas, missed 3 games out there. We saw him at the Las Vegas shootout right after Christmas. He tried to play, but he is back. He is back.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely back, and he's got his timing, and he said he wears that knee more for his head than for his knee because he feels good. He just doesn't want to risk the possibility of injuring it again, but I like the way he plays because he plays hard. He needs a little more weight on his body so that he could have a chance to play at the next level.
James on the inbound, floats good, in and out. Brooks the rebound. That was a bucket that should have gone down, but didn't.
Good aggressive play. Took his eye off it. He was looking at the defense, trying to get it over an outstretched arm.
Fresno State leading by 2. Brooks to Heron. Oh, wow. What a
You let him set his feet, he's going to give you that gooseneck of the arm.
He shoots 41% from behind the turnover, UNLV. And a timeout call. Heron has been the man. Knocked it down from long range. 3:54 to go. Fresno State by 5. Quick bullet jam. Derek Dickey back in Fresno, California. Fresno State leading UNLV by 5. And they give them most of the credit to Chris Heron. Derek, effortless three-pointer.
3 out of 3 from long range. 18 points, 5 out of 8 from the field. He's got 6 free throws, and he's also got a couple of assists. This young man has some confidence on his shot now. He's going to be hard to stop for the rest of the game.
He was the only Fresno State Bulldog to come on the floor during warm-up without his warm-up jacket. He was ready to play before the ball went up.
So pumped up. He wanted to get out here and play, and he got out here early also to get some extra shooting in. This guy is just a sophomore. He's going to be around for a little while.
Aaron swings it near side, back up top, Forney. Got it here by Keon Clark down the telegraph baseline.
The problem the Bulldogs have with a game like this, they don't have an inside presence they can go to. You see Kyrie Stanley down there. They also have Rasan Smith. You see McCullough wants to try to get inside, but he gets up in the air with nowhere to go because he's not sure whether to give it to Stanley or whether to try to put it up. He was fortunate to get to the line.
McCullough makes the first 3 points on the night. The foul went to Tyrone Nesby, his second. The left-hander. Nice cut. McCullough with 4. And Fresno State now leads 43-36. James inside.
Offense.
And no bucket.
If that's Nesby, that's his third.
It is his third. Tyrone Nesby.
Take a look at Nesby down on the clock. He's trying to get position. McCullough's all over him. I don't know about that one. That's a position you usually give the offensive player.
They're on the drive. Holds it. Too strong, and Keon Clark climbs up the ladder. Didn't have to climb far, but the rebound quickly. Transition, and a reach in and a whistle.
That's a bad pass by Kevin James. He wanted to advance the ball, but there was a little bit too much traffic in trying to get that ball ahead. Look at Jimmy. He wants to get the ball to the court, which is a good idea, but you got a defender right there. Why do you make that pass? The smart decision is to hold on to it, pull it back. James is a senior.
His second foul. UNLV, Derek, scoreless the last 3 minutes.
Well, this is one way to get some numbers back on the board. Try to get to that free throw line. If you're aggressive, those kind of things will happen.
Breaks the drought. Keon Clark will check out. Back comes Rose Green. Tennessee tackle winner.
Damian Smith with a medical red shirt last year. He had surgery on his right knee. Seems to be recovered and moving pretty well.
Well, he's already graduated. Has a degree in hotel administration. 13 points. He can go back to Las Vegas and open up a hotel.
Well, he can go back to Las Vegas and get a very good job. That's what he could do.
43-38. Fresno State under 3 minutes to play and a half. Dominic Young against James. Donovan takes the 6 from Stanley. Forney breaks 3. Oh, nice baseline. Touch. Laid it up and in.
That's a terrific entry pass by Young, throwing it away from the defense.
Forney with 11 points in this half. The lead is 7. Smith drives, kicks it to Smith. Too strong. And the rebound goes to Fresno State. Dominic Young lost the handle.
Trying to get inside once again, but Kyrie Stanley was there and didn't really show himself. He didn't present himself, as Bill Raftery would say.
Under 2 minutes. 14 on the shot clock and a whistle.
And a hold inside.
Well, stick around for the Delta Boston halftime report. Gary Miller and Clark Kellogg, number 12 Villanova, upset Oklahoma State, and 20th ranked Texas Tech, a great overtime ball game. And bad news for Kentucky, Derek Anderson, out for the season. Gary Miller and Clark Kellogg will have the details coming up on the Delta Boston halftime report.
That's horrible news for Derek Anderson, a terrific player with a very bright future. Kentucky fans need to keep their ear to the TV for that one.
Lane with the free throw.
UNLV has not had a field goal in almost 6 minutes.
They're still close at the free throw line. Lane missed the second. 45-39, Fresno State.
One good thing about the Running Rebels is that they're a better second-half team. They usually average on the season 40 points a game. Their opponent's 34, so as a +6 margin, and they want to try to be able to tighten it up before they go into the break.
Aaron misfires the long jumper. Was in three-point land again. 1:22 to go.
Stay close. That's all the Rebels want to do is stay close.
Young picks the pocket of James, and that James reaches back in and is whistled for the foul.
Well, not only did Dominic Young pick his pocket, he sat on Kevin James after he took the ball from him. This is a great hand. Great hands by Dominic Young. But look at him. He takes the ball, and then he sits on him. Good defense.
Third foul on Kevin James, and back in is Mark Dickel.
Dominic Young to the line.
Kevin James, I don't mind you taking the ball, but don't sit on me. Come on.
Young, 79% free throw shooter, misses the first. Too strong.
Another effortless player when it comes to releasing that ball. But against Air Force, he struggled. Only 2 out of 10 from the field in that game. He did have 10 assists in 34 minutes of play.
Dominic averages 15 points a game, only his 6th point. 46-39, coming up on a minute to go and a half.
Dominic averages a couple of steals a game.
Dickel with 17 on the shot clock.
Great defense again.
Damian Smith launches it in front of the iron, and the little guy, Young.
Who gets that rebound?
Dominic spins across midcourt. From way out.
He's feeling it. He got the
Points for Young.
Dominic got that steal, and from that it gave him a lot of emotion.
The lead is 10. I tell you, the combination of Dominic Young and Chris Herron is dynamite.
They're going to be awfully good as this season winds down. They need some inside help with the scoring.
Fresno State again, tough defense.
Turnover.
And this crowd is roaring. Damian Smith got caught up in the lane and turned it over.
Forcing the pressure once again.
Herron will bring it down for what could be the final shot of the half. Drives. Had the open shot, missed it. Oh, Herron, huge first half. 5 of 11 from the floor. 6 for 6 from the line. 18 points for Chris Herron. And Fresno State leads at the half, 49-39. We take you back down to the studios with...
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the Southern Company, a power company with the energy to serve your world.
Halftime, Fresno State leading UNLV 49-39. Trey Bullerjack along with Derek Dickey. Welcome back to Fresno, California. We talked about Dominic Young, Chris Herron to start this game. The dynamic duo of Fresno State's backcourt. Wow.
Hey, they've done a terrific job in the first half. Chris Herron is an excellent shooter. We talked about that. You cannot allow him to get set without a defender in his face. He rained 2 out of 5 for from three-point range, showed a lot of emotion. He wound up with 18 points in the first half, averaging 15.5 on the season. The other half of that tandem, Dominic Young, another very emotional player. He made 2 out of 5 from long range, wound up with 9 points in the backcourt.
I say wow because here's the starting backcourt numbers. Aaron and Dominic Young combining for 27 points. UNLV, we're talking Mark Dickel and Jermaine Smith, only 5 points for Billy Bano.
Got to continue to get a little bit better balance with the scoring inside-outside game. And Tyrone Nesby has been really dormant in that first half. 3 out of 7 from the field, only 7 points. And he's the guy who's leading the running Rebels with 16 points a game.
Damian Smith, high point man for UNLV with 13. Heron leading the way, as we mentioned, for Fresno State, 18 first half points, 5 of 11, and perfect from the free throw line, 6 for 6.
Running Rebels need a basket. They have not scored a basket, a field goal since the 5-minute and 50-second mark of the first half.
Nesby drives, baseline. He was met underneath, and the ball was rejected. Roberson looked like he got a hand on it. The other way, Forney. He on Clark. Get it out of here.
His 4th block of the afternoon.
Heron reached in, knocked it away. If we look at the first half numbers of a very fast-paced game, 41%, Derek. Both clubs shooting from the floor. I think the turnovers tell a huge story. 13 turnovers for UNLV.
Yes, they do. Those 13 turnovers. How about the points off for turnovers? Giving up 15 points off for those turnovers. Take care of the ball. You give yourself a chance.
Whistle for the foul. They'll reach in on Keon Clark. And this Bulldog crowd will remain on their feet to start the second half until Fresno State hit the bucket.
Forney just picked up his, 3rd foul in this ballgame.
Aaron kicks it up to Young across midcourt. Whips it inside. Clark slapped it away. It will be Fresno State basketball.
I like the eyes of Dominic Young. He sees the opening, and if you're not looking, you're going to get hit in the head with the ball.
To Heron. Had a look at the 3, back out to Roberson. Jumper in and out. Another rebound for Keon Clark.
And another block shot. We just saw that a few minutes ago.
Well, the drought continues for UNLV. They've gone now over 7 minutes without a bucket. Dating back to the second half. Clark trying to kick it off the glass.
I don't know if I agree with that. I thought Forney was over the back and tipped it out. There wasn't a foul, but I thought he tipped the ball out. Or was that Roberson? I'm sorry, Roberson.
Damian Smith to Nesby. Needs to warm it up. Too strong off the back of the iron. Here comes Fresno State, 2-on-3. Dominic Young nearly lost it.
Bulldogs need some inside scoring presence. They don't have it. There it is.
They got it that time. Rashawn Smith running down the lane with a layup.
The first basket out of their centers. They were 0 for 4 before that shot.
The lead is 12 and a bad pass inside. Dangerous time right now for UNLV. Dominic Young quick off the dribble. Loose ball picked up by Rosegreen. The pull-up jumper. And Rosegreen, his first bucket from the floor. 6 points. He had four free throws in the first half out of Fort Lauderdale.
Finally gets the lid off.
Dominic Young in traffic. Off to Smith. Double pump. The bucket and foul.
That's a smart play by Rashawn Smith. He felt Keon Clark right on his side. And that bit of a pump fake made Clark straighten his knees out. You make a shot blocker straighten those knees out. Now he can't jump. He can't get the timing to be able to block that shot.
Third foul on Keon Clark. Tyrone Nesby also with 3. Kevin James with 3 for UNLV. And a 3-point play for Rashawn Smith. 5 here in the second half.
And Hassan's got a pretty good career of block shots going. He's got over 100 block shots in his career.
The lead is 13. James working on Young. Rose Green dribbles down the lane. James tries to give it back up and in. 20 the rebound. This has been a high-tempo game. Heron. Now Dominic Young looks inside, kicks it up. Heron drives. Young.
Just a guard orientation. They look for each other. Young.
And a 20-second timeout called by Bill Bano. And the lead is 16. It was 10 at the half.
Talk about tandem and being on the same page. Dominic Young to Chris Heron. Chris Heron to Dominic Young. That's what we've been seeing all evening long. Keep looking for your teammate. Look for your backcourt mate. As well as they shoot the ball, they're feeling it now. Keep finding that hot hand.
Those two have combined for 30 points in this game. Fresno State on a 19-5 run the last 8 minutes. Of course, that overlaps down the stretch of the first half.
Got to find a finger or a thumb or something to put in this hole and stop the bleeding.
Bano called the 22nd timeout. Damian Smith guarded by Heron up top.
See if the Rebels can get something inside. Get that high percentage look. Get it in. Pitch it back out for the open look.
Smith launches it.
There it is. There it is.
Damian Smith had 13, Derek, in the first half. Hits another 3, 16 points in this game.
Well, you can look for that inside shot if it's there. You try to post up. If it's not, let the defense come in and collapse. 3 defenders went around Clark. He pitched it back out. You make an extra pass. You got an open shot.
A rare miss by one of the Fresno State guards. There's a good look at the 34-year-old Bill Bano in his second year.
He's going to be a terrific coach, but you mentioned he got some big shoes to fill. How about Rolly Massimino before him? Don't forget Tim Gergeris. Yeah. He had the job temporarily. Didn't want it right after Tarkanian took over. He went back to the Seattle Sonics.
20. Spins. The dish. Smith. You got it.
Bring it to the rebound.
9 points. 7 here in the second half of Rashawn Smith.
This is what the Rebels didn't want. They didn't want this crowd to be a factor in this game.
Oh, the reverse. Oh, nice shot by Nesby.
That's the athleticism that the team has been looking for. They need his leadership out there.
Oh, Keon Clark.
Oh, boy.
He took it right over the top of Chris Heron.
He blocked the shot first and kept it inbounds. A terrific athletic play.
8 points for Keon Clark.
Unfortunately, a basket like that only counts as 2 points at a time.
Young on the drive and a whistle. 5 block shots now for Keon Clark.
He's already above his average, but just terrific timing to be able to block the shot, keep the ball in play so you or your teammates have a chance to get it. That's one of the things that Bill Russell, he's a member of the Hall of Fame, always tried to tell players. If you block a shot, don't block it up in the stands. Keep the ball in play.
13 points now for Dominic Young. 7 assists to go with it. How about 14? And now it's timeout. 15-21 to play in the ball game. Fresno State leading 61-48. Boy, some great plays in this game. And how about the jam by Keon Clark? Fresno State leading UNLV. They continue to push the tempo of this game.
Terrence Roberson at 6'7". He's another guy, just a sophomore, doing everything he can to keep this crowd pumped up. Excellent give and go.
And next Monday, a special Big Monday presentation. 24th ranked Tulsa against number 5 Utah. The Golden Hurricanes taking on Rick McGarrett and his running youth. Both teams undefeated in conference play. First time they've met since 1957. You look at the Mountain Division of the Western Athletic Conference. Both these teams playing very well. Tulsa in their first season in the WAC.
And they're already rated in the top 25, so they're having a terrific start to the season. Rebels are standing around. They're not getting open. They want to get the ball inside, but they're not making quick enough cuts. They're being overplayed by the Bulldogs. If they go out and they're overplayed, they need to go back door and try to get some layups.
7 on the shot clock. Nesby gives it up to James. Good look. Good bucket. Three-pointer. Devin James, first points of the night. A three-pointer. 61-51.
That should help open it up a little bit for the Rebels, but they need to try to get the ball inside a little bit more so there's not a defender running at the outside shooter. Looks like a little bit of almost an amoeba-style defense. It's a zone, not rotating quickly enough to the corner.
Roberson, they waited out, and he hits the three. Roberson with 5 points.
Fresno State is doing a great job of rotating the ball, and the Rebels couldn't get there quickly enough. Bill Bano says, oh, guys, come on. You're letting me down. You're letting us down by not getting over there to cover that play.
Aaron picks up his second. He checks in, or checks out. Inside lane, up and in.
Strong move.
Over Smith. Tony Lane, his first bucket here in the half. Back the other way. And the jam down by Rosanna Smith.
But I like the aggressive play by Roberson. He took the ball right at Clark.
11 points, 5 rebounds for Smith. James the other way.
Oh, Clark back at you.
That ball just came off the rim.
You follow me, I follow you.
10-point night for Keon Clark.
Just a good pass. Dominic Young with a terrific pass to Fournier.
40-13.
We talked about the eyes of Dominic Young. Look at the zip on this pass. Boom! Right there.
A 13-point lead. James, baseline, up top, Damian Smith. What's the traffic slide by and gets the jumper.
Great penetration that time by Kevin James to get all the way down inside and draw the defense and pitch it back out.
Well, Damian Smith averaging 3.6 points a game, 18 tonight.
Clark! He's playing volleyball by himself.
The ball comes out to Smith. And a whistle.
Keon Clark, you are not coming in my backyard. Take that weak shot out of here.
Block shot.
Oh, my goodness. If you're going to go in there, you better be serious. Fournier's going to challenge him once. He's going to go back and challenge him again. You couldn't see it, but Clark did get a piece of that ball, and he is going to be changing every shot every time the Bulldogs go in.
Stanley checks in. McCullough comes in for Fresno State. Also, Jermaine Smith for UNLV.
Smith goes out, waving his arm.
9 points in this half, 11 on the night for Rashawn Smith out of Oakland. 68-57, Fresno State. Lane on the drive, the floater and a whistle. And Kyrie Stanley, who just checked in, picks up the foul. That's going to be his third.
Well, Stanley's almost 7 feet tall. He lifts him at 6'10", but he's about 290 pounds. Tony Lane is 6'6" and is able to jump over him. He was a 6'9" high school high jumper.
Two shots for Lane. You know, Kyrie Stanley wants to be a corrections officer, and they said, well, what do you think about today's problems? He goes, you know what? No inmate will give me trouble.
I don't think anybody's going to give him trouble. He could probably do what he wants. Look at that guy's body.
6'10", 285. I'd say what, I bet you put him on the scale tonight. He's around 3.
I'll bet he is. Pretty close to it. He would make an excellent corrections officer.
Lane 2 of 6, make it 2 of 7 from the line. All the other way in transition. McCullough, and was fouled on the way up by Smith.
That's a terrific pass by the other playmaking guard, Chris Herron. With Dominic Young out of the game, we mentioned that Chris Herron moves over into that spot. Reads the floor extremely well. This is an excellent pass. Herron looked at him after the play and said, Darnell, you should have taken it underneath. And he's talking to his team again. Bano saying, guys, you got to run. You got to get back. That's where they're getting beat. And Clark without the towel tonight.
He's got the bottle now.
Hey, he feels like he's in the driver's seat. He doesn't have to have both hands on the wheel or on the towel.
Second shot by McCullough. This long and short. Nesby trying to chase down the loose ball. It's going to go back, though, to Fresno State.
McCullough did. He short armed both of those throws, didn't he? We got a wet spot inside.
They'll bring the towel. How about the Winter X Games coming up on both ESPN and ESPN2 from Snow Summit, California. It starts up January 30th through February 2nd. A lot of great competition. Great hands, by the way, to save me, pal. Great hands.
I know you were busy.
I was going to talk about super modified shovel racing and snowboarding, the X Games.
Well, how about if they got ball touching and handling? I can help you with that one.
Oh, the steal by Smith. He's going to take it coast to coast. Missed it, foul. Herron.
Great hand. Good anticipation by Jermaine Smith to come up with that ball.
Got to be impressed with the backcourt speed of Herron. He covered a lot of ground, quickly picked up his third.
Well, he gave up the ball and then giving up a turnover. 99 times out of 100, the player who makes that turnover usually drops his head and stops. Chris didn't give up on the play.
Fresno State's first turnover of the second half. Jermaine Smith, it's been tough. 3 points tonight. You can see averages 14.5 on the season.
So would you say that's great defense by Dominic Young and Chris Herron on the perimeters? Excellent, excellent team defense.
Jermaine looking for his 5th point. There he finds it. Coming up on the 12-minute mark, Fresno State leading 68-59.
As competitive as Chris Herron is, he wants to get back and make something happen right away.
McCullough, last touch by Tyrese Stanley.
The ball bounced off of Clark's leg and hit Stanley's elbow and went out of bounds. Quick little ricochet in there, but Stanley is not as quick in terms of anticipating the ball in there in the first quarter.
Back-to-back turnovers by Fresno State under 4 minutes to go in the ballgame. Smith on the drive. In traffic to Clark.
I think the Rebels have the right idea in terms of trying to get back inside. You don't have that open look. You want to get some penetration either by passing or off the dribble.
Marshall off to a nice start. VMI winner.
Maurice Sanders on the bench with 4 fouls in the game. With Sean Smith back on the floor.
Clark will shoot a pair.
Looks like he kind of shot puts the ball up there. He doesn't really have a fluid attempt at the basket. Almost on his season average in play.
Averages 62% from the line. Missed them both. Herron pulls down the rebound. Clark with a 10.7 rebound night. Not to mention 6 blocks.
Yeah. 6 blocks. You take away those 6 baskets, that's 12 points that could have gone the other way.
Brooks backs it out. Really trying to post up now. Smith to Herron. Really lost the handle. 15 on the shot clock.
Plenty of time.
McCullough drives. Backs it out.
He'll shoot it.
Herron turns it over. Has 5 on the shot clock. Dickel. Smith. He lost it.
Neither team wanted the ball.
Timeout on the floor.
And a timeout. 7:14 to go. A 9-point game for the Sharks. We'll go back to Fresno after this. Back in Fresno, the young lady to the left of your screen is Jerry Tarkanian's granddaughter, Michelle. Little Fresno State. Both
of his grandchildren, yes.
There's some losses for Fresno State. Now, they went on a 32-day, 10-game road trip. 14 different hotels, Derek.
That's crazy.
I'd say it was crazy.
And Tark says he'll never do it again. And they have 6 losses on the season. They're 11-6. All 6 of those losses came on that road trip. And there are some quality opponents in there.
Texas Tech, LSU.
Bulldogs are going to be awfully tough. Later on, we may even have time to show you some of their recruiting class they have coming in. Everybody says they're #1 in the nation next season already with their recruits coming in.
Some college coaches have winced when they look at that. McCullough working on Keon Clark. That's Brooks just checked in now. McCullough.
Plenty of time.
15 on the shot. McCullough looks inside. Smith. McCullough back to Smith. The baseline jumper. Oh, nice hit. Good holding that time by Smith. And also McCullough, after he thought he had turned the ball over, Smith took his time on a jumper. He didn't rush. Rashawn Smith, 13 points, 11 here, Jared, in the second half. Major contributor to this Fresno State lead. Giving the Bulldogs that inside presence that they need. You got a perimeter game going. You got to balance it out with somebody inside who can put up some numbers. Clark to follow. Bill Bayo wanted a foul on that play. A dozen for Keon Clark. A 9-point game. A hand shot foul. Dickel. Out on the perimeter, especially on Herron and Young. So they don't get that easy look inside either to be able to shoot or to make that pass. Make them turn their back to the opposite side of the floor. You get a chance to slow the Bulldogs down. Back in for Fresno State, Dominic Young. Also James. Kevin James checks in for UNLV for Mark Dickel. Dickel's done a tremendous job for the running Rebels. He's just a freshman, and he's giving them some outstanding play. Double pump jumper short. James brings it down court for UNLV. The corner jumper. Bottom of the net. Patient. Good decision that time by Kevin Smith. 7 points for Smith, a senior. And now a 20-second timeout called by Tarkanian. It's a 7-point game. Well, I think Clark wants to try to keep control of this game. His team is out right now. Chris Herron has not been able to get a look at the basket in the second half. And we've talked about what the running Rebels are. They're a better second half team than they are first half team on the season. Started the second half floating down 10. Then it was 16. Now they'll whittle it down to 7. Columbia picks up the win. Bucknell, big over Brown. Fresno State is doing a good job of hanging in there on the board. They're still not controlling the boards, even though they seem to be controlling the game. They have to do a better job of defensive rebounding. UNLV has to do a better job of taking care of the ball. UNLV foul number 12, Kevin James. James picks up his fourth on the block on the 15th foul. Dickel puts it back in for James. He'll run the point. Trying to keep a fresh body out there, Bill Baino is right now. Keep some pressure on the guards in Fresno State. Clark the rebound. One shot and out for the Bulldogs. A bucket here could get it to 5. Clark on 40. shoots it up. Now Nesby on the dribble drive for the free throw line. In and out. Clark keeps it alive.
Nice passing. Good passing.
Nesby. And the rebound goes to Rashawn Smith.
Nesby can't find that stroke. He's not off. He's still looking for the outside shot. He probably needs to put it on the floor and try to create something.
6 rebounds for Smith. Forney working hard inside. Very effective. Raymond Forney tonight, 15 points.
Forney has done a terrific job on both ends of the floor, rebounding and defense.
Jermaine Smith, the follow. A 3-point opportunity coming up for Jermaine Smith.
That's a big basket by Smith to be able to get inside. He wanted to try to create something. Nothing was there from the perimeter. He couldn't get a screen. A little shake and bake allowed him to get right inside on the dotted line. And he draws that contact. He doesn't stop. He follows through and puts it in the basket.
Wilson picks up his 4th. Heron back in.
That was nice. Jermaine Smith had 16 points in that loss against Oklahoma State. He is a big-time money player.
Jermaine Smith, the top free throw shooter on this game at 83%. And he connects Smith, who only had 3 points in the first half, now with 10. With a 6-point game and a lot of time. 8:10 to go. Dominic Young off the dribble. In and out. One shot. Another rebound for Clark. 9 boards for Keon Clark.
Well, Fresno State is not a great rebounding team. We've already talked about that.
Oh, he missed the jam.
He took his eye off the basket and a steal.
Rose Green missed the jam, but UNLV gets another chance. Jickle.
Warren Rose Green is upset with himself for missing that jam. He was up over the basket, no problem with the jump. He took his eye off it as he was trying to throw the ball through the basket. Take a look at the pass. A great pass from Tyrone Nesby. Just as he's trying to get up there, he did not look at the basket. Those Bengals, oh, guys, come on, we need it. We're winning the game.
So Rose Green and Bano have been exchanging a couple of glances.
These are big free throws, but he's only shooting 44% on the season, and you see why.
Bano on the court, and the crowd getting a little bit riled up. Missed them both, but Clark the rebound. Slide by Smith.
Great block by Rashawn Smith.
Aaron pushes the tempo, leaves it for Dominic. The tip of Colonel. Loose ball, but it belongs to UNLV.
This is the game, isn't it? We got a game now.
7:20 to play.
Runners need a basket. They need a basket or free throw.
Keon Clark back centers a mismatch. Spin around off the glass with the left hand.
Beautiful move.
14 for Keon Clark.
Not known for his scoring, but a terrific move down on the block with the left hand.
4-point game. Roberson inside. That ball tip. Smith the rebound from behind is Keon Clark, and they got it.
Fans wanted a basket interference prior to that.
Force on Keon Clark. And Clark's going to have to come out, and Tony Lane comes back in.
Watch this shot as it goes up. Clark's going to put his hand in and then take it out at the last minute. Look at the ball. He barely touches the ball, but I don't think it was interference. But he still tries to stay in there and defend and picks up the foul on the backside, sending Smith to the basket.
Smith takes the first.
Rashawn Smith has had a very big game here this evening. Came up with a big game the other night against Air Force. He had 18 points and 9 boards. And then
13 points for Rashawn Smith, and boy, the Bulldogs are loving it. Billy Bano not. 74-68. We'll be back. A 6-point lead for Fresno State. UNLV in the huddle with Billy Bano. A lot of time clock. 6:56 there. 6:56 to go in this game. What's Bano saying right now?
Well, he's trying to calm his team down and telling them to take care of the ball. But look at what the Rebels are doing on the season in the second half versus the first half. 10 more points in the course of the game. They average 71.7 points a game, but the second half they seem to turn it up a little bit more and play better defense.
Jerry Tarkanian looks on after the timeout. Dickel brings it up for UNLV. Nesby drives on Roberson.
That's what Rebel was calling at the timeout. Trying to run a design play in isolation for Tyrone Nesby.
Back the other way, Heron. Contact to the paint. Now a whistle out.
Block in the basket. Warren Rosegreen.
Warren now with UNLV number 22, the second foul of Rosegreen.
Damon Fournier has come out very, very aggressive to start this game. He's doing a terrific job of taking the ball right to the basket.
To mark this down at 6:31, Keon Clark with 4 fouls back in. 14th point for Keon Clark. And Forney completes the three-point play. 18 points for Damon Forney. And it's a 7-point lead for Fresno State.
Fresno State can try to get the running Rebels can try to get an open look at the basket.
Dickel had it. Nice pass. They fed the inside to the big fella, Clark. And he finds Dickel.
Get it down on the block. The defense has to react.
A three-pointer. 77-73. Dominic Young gives it off to Heron, who has been shut out.
Good aggressive defense
in this half. Heron drives. Smith. Wide open jumper, and he rolls it in. For Rashawn Smith. 15 points, 13, Derek, in this half.
He's doing a terrific job of taking what the defense is giving, and Clark is dropping off of him. He's taking that open shot.
Inside the lane. Off the glass and a whistle.
Did you see Bill Bano on the sideline when that shot went up? He jumped higher than the guy who took the shot.
I think he did a split on the way up as well. Well, he's an athletic guy. He was down there today.
How about down on the Fresno State end? Chris Heron unable to get a shot off. Drives in and takes a couple of defenders and dishes. Rashawn Smith is still excited about his second half. But how about Bano? Look at this.
That was a high kick. We saw him today at shoot-around. This is a coach that gets involved. He's out there shooting the ball. He's feeding dribble drive shots. He's something else.
He's dressed out with his players.
Big miss by Lane.
High intensity from a brilliant young coach.
4 fouls on Heron. Lane tonight, 2 of 8 from the free throw line. Makes the second. Tony Lane with 7 points. It's a 5-point game with 5:25 to go.
The Rebels only shoot 67% from the line as a team. Heron unable to get any kind of look. He's going to have to pull up. There it is.
Roberson the rebound. Comes and challenges. Clark, forget it. Dickel up to Lane. Bounce pass. 3-pointer away. Lane the rebound. It's swapped by 20. Well, we've seen 20 of blocks.
We've seen a ton of blocks by both teams. That tells me they're not playing smart basketball. You give a pump fake, you got a guy up over the rim chasing like ball.
As Jerry Tarkanian takes a glance at Dominic Young, wants the 20. 4:50 to go.
Well, with 4 fouls, Keon Clark has to play smart inside. He can't be too aggressive and try to get in and just change everything with the game and block a shot and knock it up in the second row. They did a great job of blocking this shot and keeping it back in bounds. Look at the timing. This is an aggressive play by Roberson to get in there, but he stays away from the contact to keep the ball in play. But how about on the defensive end? Look at the offensive rebound and get that ball out of here. Damon Forney once again doing it on the offensive end. Here he comes up with a block on the defensive end.
Forney will inbounds. to Smith. It's a 5-point game. Fresno State, they led by 10 at the half. Dominic Young from long range, too strong, Nesby to rebound.
Tough shot, not a good decision. That's why part of the reason why his numbers are down, because he wants to make the big play for his team and get them pumped up, but he didn't have any teammates in rebounding position.
Rose Green dumps it inside. Nesby is met and hits the deck.
He turned his left ankle, too.
40 picks up the foul. That's 4 on 40.
Nesby getting awfully gingerly on that left ankle. Well, we've had a lot of fouls as well as a lot of block shots and some exciting plays in this game. But both teams are playing very aggressively. We still have over 4 minutes, 4:21 to go in the game. Only a 5-point game.
Nesby having some problems getting off the court.
He's hurting.
11 points, 7 rebounds for Nesby.
Watch the right side of your screen in the paint. Look down below. Look at the right ankle. Look at that. No. Yep, it was that left ankle. He landed on the shoe, it looked like, of Rasan Smith and slightly turned his left ankle. Let's hope he's able to come back. Substitution was made. Damian Smith comes in the game. He's going to shoot the free throws in his place.
Damian Smith, out of that trade-off. Smith with 18 points in this game.
66% free throw shooter for a 71% free throw shooter.
Nothing but net. 19. His father, Tony, played for UNLV. Derek back 76 through 79 as you look at Nesby. Has that face buried in the towel. Another for Smith. Up and in. 20-point game for Damian Smith from Las Vegas.
That's the kind of presence that the Rebels need. They need some great outside scoring to go along with Keon Clark and Nesby inside. That's a turnover.
Heron looking for 40 inside. And
look at Tark.
Tark's got the hands on the head. And now's the towel.
Now the towel.
Forget the bottle. It's towel time. 3-point game and a 20-second timeout. Let's take a look at the standings in the Pacific Division of the Western Athletic Conference. How big is it? Those numbers tell you a lot. It's early, sure, in the conference season, but Fresno State unbeaten. UNLV at 3-1.
Hawaii with only 1 loss so far, so this is a very big game. Bulldogs have Colorado State back. Colorado State next. They go to Wyoming. The running Rebels, they go to Air Force, then they have Colorado State, then they play Wyoming, and they go to Hawaii. So both teams have a very tough road.
And a big game in the Mountain Division next week. You'll see it here on Big Monday, presented by Bud Light. Tulsa in Utah in Salt Lake City from the Huntsman Center. Jay Field, wow, what a year. Keith Van Horn, they call him the lottery pick. We'll have it for you. Special edition Big Monday.
I think Keith Van Horn is definitely a lottery pick.
Oh, Key on front, the rebound, the left-hand hook. Oh, my God. 16 points for Clark. Buckle up. It's a 1-point game, 3:43 to go.
One of the things we didn't mention, Jerry Tarkanian told us this afternoon, he had a chance at Keon Clark. He says he ruled the day that he didn't get him and didn't bring him here. He really wanted that player.
Aaron backdoor.
Good block.
Roberson will follow it up to Jimmy. Oh, that's a big bucket. Big bucket for Fresno State. Roberson with 7. Perrin, though, still shut out in the second half.
Terrific defense by the running Rebels, but that was a big bucket by Terrence Roberson.
Jermaine Smith working around 40 baseline. Steps out of bounds.
Turn it over.
And the punt meter has just about peaked out. Roberson from downtown. It's a 4-point game. We'll be back. sure you stick around down the stretch. Here we come. 3:07 to play. 82-78 Fresno State. And coming up, you bet, right after this game, Sports Center. And what a day. College basketball. What a day. Of course, talking about Super Bowl. A lot of news. Vermeil to the Rams. We'll take a look around the NBA. Sports Center coming up.
A great game going here. Awful turnovers in this game so far. Las Vegas has 18 turnovers. They've given up 19 points. The Bulldogs have 9 turnovers. They've given up 8 points off of them. Take care of the ball down the stretch and make your free throws.
3 minutes to go. Dominic Young says, no, Forney, you come here.
It's a high screen designed to get Forney an open look.
He has the open shot and hits it.
I can call the play. You know what it is. You get to the spot, I'll get you the ball.
Forney, a 50% shooter from the floor now with Forney in this game. 84-78, Fresno State.
From Roberson.
Boy, Dickler hit the deck along with Dominic. Dominic says, hey, give me the foul. Trying to protect his player.
Is that on Roberson or Herron? That's on Chris Herron, I'm sorry.
That's on Herron, yep.
That's 5.
Chris Herron out. What a huge first half. 18 points. Wow. All those points came in the first 20 minutes.
An adjustment by Bill Bano. You got a guy that's red hot, taking all the energy and emotion in the locker room. He comes back out. You make an adjustment with your guard play. Chris Herron gets shut out.
And we'll look at intensity. 5 fouls. He's gone. 18 points on the night. And Dominic Young still says that foul should be on me. And now it's Jerry Tarkanian. For reprise, how many times will you see this? Herron off the bench, he was almost in tears.
Oh my goodness, the correction.
And so the foul will go to Dominic Young.
We're going to take a second look at this and see if we can find it after the free throw.
Dickler 1-and-1. Roberson the rebound off the miss. Derek, you will not see that often. A guy fouling out heading his...
Bill Bano's complaining to the officials. He's saying something regarding 2. Up on the scoreboard, there needs to be a correction. He's saying there were 2 free throw attempts. Fresno State is in the double bonus. Should have been 2 free throw attempts. So, do they put it back on the clock?
You should.
You're supposed to.
They're letting it on.
Okay. There you have it.
They're going to send it back to 2:33.
Going to take a look at this foul. Dominic Young is the one who actually falls down. Herron reaches in at the last minute, but Young is the one who actually picked up that last foul, keeping Chris Herron in the game.
You know what? You have to tip your hat to the officials. They corrected themselves. It's a good call. Herron back in with 4.
That is a good call. That's a gutsy call.
So Dickler missed the first. He should have had the 2 shots. The officials at the time said 1-and-1.
It should have been 2 free throws. Look at Dominic Young, number 10, playing defense. He's going to fall and pick up this foul.
Dickler missed the second, and Roberson the rebound.
Huge free throws there. Rebels need a stop. They need a defensive stop here. Let's see you putting Chris Herron back in the game if that's going to give some fuel to the fire of the Bulldogs.
Dominic Young working on Dickler drives. Baseline bucket, and it's a big one. 40 with 22.
Outstanding penetration by the senior Dominic Young.
86-78 Fresno State. Big possession right here for UNLV.
They have to have a basket. Or free throws.
Fresno State on a 6-0 run the last minute 30. The shot clock down to 10.
A lot of standing right now by the running Rebels. They're not running, not moving.
Dickel swings it far side, hits the floater.
Tough shot.
Basket on Mark Dickel.
Dickel with his 7th point, his 3rd bucket. 86-80, Fresno State.
Quiets the crowd, and Bill Bano was calling for a timeout.
Timeout. Pull up.
Timeout. Selling Arena. Stay tuned. A great finish guaranteed. 86-80 Bulldogs.
86-80. Fresno State is up over UNLV, and usually when you want a big play, you go to an upperclassman. But the freshman, Mark Dickel, makes a tremendous drive, and his coach, Bill Bano, wants a timeout after the basket. His players don't see him, but the Bulldogs get the ball inbounds and take it up court, and they call the timeout, saving the running Rebels one of theirs.
Let's reset it for you. UNLV with 2 full timeouts. Fresno State with 1. No 20s remain, and the fouls were 7 over 10. The possession arrow could play a factor, pointing to Fresno State.
Possession arrow could play a factor in this game, but the running Rebels have to be aggressive defensively. They have to go for a steal. They have to turn up the tempo on the defensive end. But most of all, rebound defensively. Do not let the Bulldogs get an offensive rebound.
Don't forget Keon Clark on the floor with 4 fouls. Number 15 for UNLV. Dominic Young working clock. A minute to go.
1 minute.
Whips it.
Oh, no.
He was working inside with Sam Smith.
Was standing instead of going to the basket. He had a layup.
There's a turnover. Dickel across midcourt.
Trying to find Nesby out there.
Takes the pick from Clark. Dickel back to Jermaine Smith. Good defense by Fresno
Great
State.
defense.
Smith spoke it up. Blocked.
Give him 2 points. That's basket interference.
Basket count.
And a timeout.
Timeout.
UNLV. 86-82. We will take a break. 41.3 seconds on the clock. It's a 4-point game. What a game it's been. 41.3 seconds to play. Fresno State 86-82. Stay right where you are. Coming up next, Sports Center follows the conclusion of this one.
It's been an exciting game, partner. All the way down to the wire. Fresno State had a lead at halftime. They were up by 10, 49-39. But the running Rebels have not given up.
That's the first time we mentioned earlier tonight, the first time Jerry Tarkanian has coached against his old team. Of course, left back in 92. And really locally, a lot wasn't played. Of course, the media did, but both coaches today said, no. Wait till we go to UNLV. Maybe then it will be a story.
We'll see. Still a game here to be played out.
Dominic Young races down the court. First bucket is half.
Soft rim.
Nesby back in. Keon Clark for 3. Loose ball goes to Fournier. And now Dickel has to reach in for the foul.
The Bulldogs gain control. What a big basket. Huge basket by Kendrick Brooks.
You know, you made a point several times tonight about in clutch times. You go to the senior and Kendrick Brooks, a senior from New Orleans. The bounce. Off.
He needed that basket, but Kendrick has struggled all night. Look at the target. Is he a funny man or what?
He has seen it all. Oh, it's a great shot, gentlemen. 15 seconds to go. Tarkanian up by 7. We'll come back after this. Heading down the stretch, a great game, 89-82, Fresno State. There's the hero of the moment. First bucket from the floor. Kendrick Brooks had 5 free throws in the first half. and hit the huge shot. Target selling. Derek, how about 24-3 over the last 2 years? Undefeated this season.
That gets my attention, and Jerry Tarkanian has done tremendous things for basketball. Second time he's been nominated for the Basketball Hall of Fame. That now makes it an 8-point game, which is a 3-possession game. With only 15 seconds left, it appears that the running Rebels have run out of time.
40 makes them both. A 24-point night for Damon Forney. 91-82. Heron the rebound. And Heron's going to just run this one down. He's got a big smile on that face. Takes it goes right to the front for the win.
I think that should just about do it.
A 20-point night, and he went to the final 3 seconds to score in the second half.
Great defense by the running Rebels. Bill Bano made an adjustment at halftime. Jerry Tarkanian's team made another adjustment. They come up with a sweet win.
Fresno State moves to 4-0 in the conference, 12-6 overall. UNLV now 11-5 and 3-2 in the Western Athletic Conference. The final score from Fresno, the Bulldogs win it by a final of 93-82. SportsCenter is next for Derek Dickey and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Frank Borjak. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. SportsCenter is next.